Welcome back to Our Issues Milwaukee. I'm your host, Andrea Williams. Research shows the benefits of sports involvement for youth can have positive influences on social competence and self-esteem. And of course, sports aren't just a way to get exercise and develop athletic skills. Being on a sports team can provide kids with a sense of belonging and pride. My next guests are Ennis Chambliss. He's the league president of the Milwaukee Christian Fellowship Basketball League, and Chad Johnson serves as the board president. How are you?
Doing good.
Thank you for being here, gentlemen. I want to start off finding out more about the Milwaukee Christian Fellowship Basketball League and how you connect to young people through sports.
Sure. Well, first of all, thank you for having us today.
My pleasure.
I'd like to give a wonderful shout out to one that folks in the community know, Miss T. Renee, one of our board members of Milwaukee Christian Fellowship Basketball League, by helping to get this connected for us.
Absolutely.
But we're actually entering our 23rd season of ministry in Milwaukee. And so we're a congregation-supported basketball league, in that teams that are going to be a part of our league have to be affiliated with a local church congregation. It's non-denominational, so there's not a particular denomination that we work with. But young men currently from ages 12 to 18 are eligible to play within our league if they're not playing for their high school team by WIA rules. And so, unfortunately, the league started off nearly 22 seasons ago. A young man happened to be killed on the playground, and some young men went back to their church and spoke to the founder of MCFBL, Jeff Beckton, and said, hey, is there a way we can start a basketball league? And ultimately, he said, well, let's try to reach out to some other churches that I know and see if we can get something going. So he reached out to 5 other churches, and they started the very first season back in 1994, and they played their first games at the Hillside Boys and Girls Club.
Wow.
And so it was 6 teams, they fellowshipped, and they didn't even have referees. They just had, teams, the youth got out there, the pastors, the families, and they all kind of came out and supported. And then by year 2, they moved into North Division High School in the field house, and by that time they added referees through the Midwest Minority Officials Association, and that's where individuals like Ron Fancher, who's been in the community a long time, Ms. T. Renee, became officials that second year. And as they evolved, they ultimately had a boys and girls league playing in North Division. And so we stayed in North Division for about 17 seasons, and then ultimately moved the games into some churches locally. So New Testament Church, Eastbrook Church, Elmbrook Church, Christ the King are some of the local churches that we play within. And so the goal is starting with youth that are within the church congregations as a start, but then really encouraging those local churches to reach out to kids in the neighborhood. The youth in their church can reach out to their friends in school, some of their family, and encourage them to join the team. And that's kind of one of the ways that we rely on the churches to go out and use us as an opportunity to reach out to youth in a way to establish relationships with them and just get them connected to a local church
It's
fellowship.
so important. And Ennis, if you would talk about your work with this particular league and how you've been able to connect with these young people through basketball.
Right.
Well, initially, I started as a coach for VLCC, which is Victorious Living Christian Center. And it's very interesting the connection that you had with these kids, because you wouldn't really understand the importance of your role until you actually are in it. Like these kids have issues, and they're really comfortable with coming to you and talking to you about these issues because you're there. You're there with them, and you're talking with them through sports, and you're talking through them through discipleship, and you start to let them open up, and they start to trust you, you trust them, and they start to tell you a little things. And I started out that way, and it was very, very interesting for me, and it was a pretty nice experience.
Yeah.
And as of and after that, I grew on into, and I got nominated to be the league director. And it's just my first year starting off as that, so I don't have any really experience with exactly on the league director part. But as a coach, it was very, very great that I can see the community and how I affected these young kids.
Absolutely, because a lot of times we've talked about how there's a number of young men in particular who really don't have a father figure that's in their lives. And so when they have positive role models and mentors that are there to help them understand what it means to be a man and some of the things that they need to do in order to be a positive individual in their community, that's where you guys come in, right?
Indeed, indeed. Well, our mission is essentially, so we are a Christian league where our mission is discipling youth through sports. However, we kind of talk a lot about discipleship. Really, the youth are apprentices, and to be an apprentice, you have to be trained by someone who knows what they're doing. And so we look to the coaches to kind of be those role models, individuals, of integrity, men who are getting up, taking care of their families. They're connected within a local church fellowship. They're good examples that the young men feel that they can look up to and trust and follow. And so the success of our league heavily relies not only just on our recruitment and kind of how good the basketball play is, but it really relies on the integrity and value and quality of the coaches that are a part of it. So we really do put emphasis and time in ensuring that we help them understand that this is more than just X's and O's in basketball.
Right.
That's the easy part,
right.
really. The basketball is the easy part. It's all the stuff that goes around it, the supplement that you provide that takes a lot of time and energy, and it's truly a commitment.
Yeah, so if there's a church out there that's interested in creating a team, what are some of the steps they would follow to do that?
Well, sure. One of the ways that they initially can start off is going to our website, mcfbl.org, and so we open up registration now, so they can go onto our website, they can register online and start fielding a team. Registrations are due the second Saturday in December, so they have from now until then. We actually do a kickoff event on October 13th. That will be at the Milwaukee Bucks game. So we have a relationship with the Bucks each year where we do kind of a preseason fellowship where we bring returning teams and those who are just kind of exploring to see if this is a league that they want to be a part of. So we'll have a pre-game function beforehand where they can learn kind of what's happening, what's new. And then additionally, the second Saturday in November, we have a coaches development session where we go into further training and just kind of helping them understand the true commitment behind it. So if they're still kind of simmering between deciding to connect or not, they learn a lot more about what's truly involved. And then we even try to assist them with knowing how to go out and find players and how to really build a team and make sure they have a successful year. But the website would be the first start. They can also email us at mcfblmke@gmail.com. We can make sure we get them connected with registration information.
Okay, and we will talk a little bit more about the partnerships that you've created in the community, but I'm not going to let Ennis sit over there and chill too long.
Good.
We know that sports in general teaches life skills. So in your opinion and with the work that you've done, what life skills would you say are taught to the young people that come through this league?
The most important thing is decision making. That's one of the tools that our young men really have to get enforced. And obedience, decision making, and how to just relax and keep calm in high pressure situations. Don't just outburst and don't just react to certain things. Control is very important, and they actually really learn that because in the heat of sports, everything is heightened. You always want to win, you always want to do these things, but we teach them that it's okay to be aggressive in the game, but you have to have control. Everything that you have to do is in control, and so they understand that certain rules that you have to follow, and it's very important for them to do that because we can use basketball as a tool to disciple through them, and because they really want to play. And so their obedience, and believe it or not, the kids really like that environment because it's safe for them. They feel comfortable. They can talk. And they don't really have to worry about the negativities that's outside in some of their lives. This is like a safe haven for them to just come and enjoy the sport of basketball, which everybody likes to watch and play.
See, and I understand because I'm so competitive, even in my old age, when I am competing, and my last competitive sport was kickball, and you would think, that it's not that serious, but and I played on a co-ed team, and so one of the guys didn't throw me the ball. Instead, he wanted to, get the out himself, and I went totally, over.
I'm right here.
I'm like, why did you throw? So I understand in saying understanding how far to go, in being emotionally wrapped up into a game. The same thing is in life. You can be on a job and somebody take you to a heightened level emotionally, but if you want to pay your bills next month, you know how to reel it in, and that's really where it kind of balances out, and they probably don't even realize it, but you are teaching them how to deal with situations, even though they are in a competitive sport.
Right, and I have kids that they actually came back and they said, I'm so proud and I'm so glad that you was able to teach me these things, and I was able to learn on not such a impacted area in their life that they can actually, you know, where they can make a mistake and still recover.
Yeah.
So when they started getting to the real world, they was like, well, I understand how to be obedient. I understand how to control myself. And so therefore, you know, they really appreciated it.
Yeah, see, I'm that old lady, because that's what kids look at you as, like, she's old. There's two little young boys that throw the football back and forth, and I'll stop, throw me the ball, and they look like, seriously?
Can you catch
but
it?
really, and then when I catch it, you know, days later, they're knocking on my door, can you play catch with us?
Right.
So I'm still in that mode. So I really do respect athletes on so many different levels, because it takes a mindset and a mentality to not only be good at a sport, but to understand the rules and put all of that together and, you know, come out a winner. So, but it's not always about winning either. It's really about how you play the sport. So, all right, enough on that. But you mentioned your community. One of the community partners is the Milwaukee Bucks. You also work with other organizations like Marquette, UW Milwaukee, MATC, and those specifically educational institutions. So you guys make sure kids are able to walk away with scholarships in instances as well.
Indeed. So as we often say, it's more than basketball. We have to reiterate over and over again, even though we're Milwaukee Christian Fellowship Basketball League, basketball is merely just a hook.
Right.
I mean, and it's a strong hook and very big carrot that, you know, really draws a lot of people out. But in December, before the season starts, we have a preseason retreat where we bring all teams together and we kind of lay out a day where they have an opportunity to meet the referees, establish some relationships, kind of understand new rules and ground rules established. But then we also bring in kind of supplementary resources such as, you know, UW Milwaukee pre-college program. We brought in MATC to talk about the Promise program. One of our board members, Greg Griffin, is actually over the Talent Search program at Marquette University. And so this summer we actually were able to go up to UW Green Bay to do a college tour and tour Lambeau Field.
All right.
And so the opportunity there is how can we provide kind of those, like, you know, tangible resources to them, ACT, you know, prep, help them get acclimated to complete a FAFSA form, understanding what it takes to get into college. And then we also, as an organization, offer scholarships as well each year. And so since 2005, we've awarded over $35,000 in scholarships.
That's amazing.
To young men and young ladies.
I love it. Thank you all so much for coming by and telling us more about this outstanding league. Again, their annual MCFBL kickoff event will be the Bucks versus the Pistons on Saturday, October 13th. Ennis Chambliss is the league director of the Milwaukee Christian Fellowship Basketball League, and Chad Johnson, he serves as the board president. For more information on anything we've discussed, you can log on to mcfbl.org, and that is going to do it for today's show. I'm your host, Andrea Williams. As always, thank you for watching, and I do hope you join us again next week as we take another look at our issues in Milwaukee. Have a great day.